Hi, Gemini Sun and Rising. Welcome to your May 2024 Astro Update. It's Rena here. All right, Gemini, this is your month. And I'm telling you, I do believe that it is because you have Jupiter going into your sign. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. So let's just start from the beginning because I have it all. I'd like to say written out, but actually it's typed out. But I'm going to start with April 30th because it's at the end of April and Mars goes into Aries on that date. And for you, this is your 11th house of hopes and wishes. It's the house of gains, like financial gains, and it's also the house of friendships and groups. Mars here can, I think, for some people, that this could be where you find yourself getting heated with people that you're socializing with. Why would you do something like that? Well, first of all, with Gemini, heated means probably being argumentative more than anything else. But actually, when we clash, it's because, and this also obviously includes partnerships like romantic partnerships. It's because, and we didn't before clash, then it can mean that we're growing in opposite directions, right? And that happens. When people are not as aware, they're kind of unconscious in their dealings with other people, they may assign blame and say, oh, well, it's this other person's fault and all of this. But if you can navigate this without trying to make this about somebody did this or that and isn't it terrible, you can find that you respectfully are moving on. Certainly, this is going to be the case for you, Gemini, because I'm recording this on the 6th of April, and it's right before the eclipse in Aries on the 8th. And what that suggests is that there is going to be a big shakeup in your social network. And so because eclipse energy can last several months after the fact, you may, even in May, this could be like the fallout of that eclipse, and you may be like really feeling that sense of conflict with people that you used to get along with. Aries, Gemini is a very social sign. I would guarantee that there are probably very few Gemini people that are introverts. Now, I'm not saying that there can't be, but I just think that a lot of you guys, that's just how you roll because you rule communication. So you have to have somebody to communicate with. Um, and that might be how everything gets started, with some kind of vigorous debate that kind of accelerates. Another thing that this can be, since we're talking about groups, is that if you have a political interest, Mars here can make you out on the front lines. But be careful because Mars is the god of war and it's in its own sign. So all of us have to kind of mind our P's and Q's when we're in a time of Mars in Aries. On the 2nd, Pluto goes retrograde at 2 degrees of Aquarius. And for you, this is occurring in your 9th house. Pluto in your 9th is about issues surrounding maybe like sometimes it can be like long distance travel and things of that nature. But sometimes it can be if you're working at a university as a professor in academia. Pluto in this house can mean a lot of Machiavellian moves, maybe even on your part that you want to be a tenured professor. and there's a lot of intrigue. But Pluto retrograde, let's put it this way, can be about going within. Whether you like it or not, it's almost like you're forced to look at your own stuff, to look at your shadow. What is really going on? Are you a dilettante? Are you trying to um, control others with your intellect? This is the higher mind. And for some Gemini people, this may be a time, I was going to say a come to Jesus moment. But I really mean a come to spirituality moment because, it's so funny. If you're watching an astrology reading, there's a chance that you believe in something other than just science, physical science, or what have you. But the thing is that some people, they have their own little pet peeves where they might think that organized religion is lame, or even spirituality is anti-intellectual. And you may be faced with something where all of that changes. Pluto is about transformation, and this is the God house. So you may find that you are transforming this area within your own life, and you're becoming much more receptive to these ideas, but with your own twist to them. On the 7th, we have a new moon at 18 degrees of Taurus. This will fall in your 12th house. And there you go. I mean, it's only 5 days after the Pluto retrograde in the 9th. The 12th house is a spiritual area as well. It's Pisces domain in astrology. So that may influence you in the sense that you may feel this desire to initiate something of a spiritual nature, whether it's a personal practice or something that you're doing that connects you with other spiritual people. That might be what you want to do. And I do want to say, too, that with Pluto retrograding, if you're somebody who's like a digital nomad, having Pluto in your 9th house, that might be something that you're obsessed with. Gemini, I see, is kind of like that nomad. I feel like there's this nomadic vibe that Gemini represents of just, curiosity seeking and kind of like rambling around looking for more and more stimulation from the outer world. And when Pluto retrogrades in this house, if you have been doing that, if you have been kind of roving around, traveling, you might be kind of putting that on ice right now because you realize that it might be escapism on some level and that you need to look within about what it all really means at a deeper level. On the 15th, your ruler Mercury goes into Taurus, so into that 12th house. This can be a time for your mind to, not just be linear, but actually get into the more irrational things. But I'm not saying it in a bad way. I don't know another way of putting it. Like a cosmic way, non-linear, and a timeless mind. Sometimes that can lead to feeling this vague anxiety of like things, and I think that comes from the 12th house, which is karmic in nature, and also so receptive to outer influences. So it can make a person feel like they're picking up on other people's energy, and that can be a little bit unnerving for sure. Not to say that, I can totally understand why it would be unnerving to people, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing ultimately. And it can make you more psychic for sure. On the 20th, you have your solar return. The sun goes into your sign. And so you may be feeling physically restored, more, more revitalized than you have been. Maybe you were feeling a bit sapped, and now you feel a lot stronger, ready to do things. Because Mars in the sun in Taurus can be when you're hibernating rather than when you're just out and doing everything. It's starting a whole new cycle, being in the first house. And then 3 days later, we have the full moon at 2 degrees 55 minutes, kind of 3 minutes of Sag, your opposite sign. That will be in your seventh house of committed partnership. So partnership issues may come to the forefront. Not that they'll all end, obviously, but at least awareness of your need, because this is going to be, the sun will be in your house, in your first house at that time, opposing that full moon. And so that means that it's really about looking at that person in a very exposed kind of way. Maybe you have been seeing things a little bit idealistically or not realistically, and now you see the truth of someone, or simply that you see that they have certain needs, and you might believe that you should help them or give that to them, because maybe you've been so wrapped up in your own thing that you haven't been able to. So it's not saying that every relationship will end, but some might not seem like they're viable anymore. That's always possible. But also Venus is in your sign. So that's wonderful as well, because Venus is the attractor and can make you very attractive. Literally, like physically, maybe, but it might be this aura thing that's going on, and that kind of is magnetic and makes good things come to you easier. On the 25th, Jupiter goes into Gemini. So just 2 days later, you have Jupiter going into Gemini. I'm going to do a separate video on Jupiter going into all the signs, but I just wanted to let you know about this, give you the cliff notes. Jupiter in your own sign, just this is the first house. So your life, you should feel by the end of this transit that your life has expanded in some way. And, it could be like sometimes that, if you are really having a bad time of it, that there is like this magnification. Jupiter blows up whatever is going on. So if the first house is the status of your life, you might feel like, oh my God, but really what it's doing, like when you magnify something, it's really helping you to see. So one of the things that Jupiter represents is our philosophical framework. And, we slap labels like spiritual or religious onto that. But really, if we go through life intentionally, meaning that we're really conscious of, the things that we do in life, then we are, to me, on the spiritual path. And rather than just being on automatic and just kind of unconsciously wandering through life. So I feel like it can be really wonderful for people to be able to, upgrade their life, actually, because of Jupiter's expansive properties. But you may feel like you are lucky. You may feel like things are aligning And yeah, it can be great. And if you have Jupiter in Gemini, then you're having a Jupiter return to boot. So there you have it. That's what I have for you, Gemini. I hope that this resonated. Of course, it hasn't happened yet, so how could it, I guess? But if you would like a private reading, this is a time when you're anticipating your solar return, if you're Sun in Gemini, or even if you're Gemini rising. And my deep dive reading, which is an hour of natal chart analysis, an hour of transits for the upcoming 12 months, is a package deal and specially priced. And so if you'd like to find out more information about that reading or my other offerings, please click on the link below. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.